We all think about living a long life, but what if we could live a long, great life? I'm talking about hitting your 90s or even 100 and still feeling fantastic, full of energy and purpose. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the secrets of the people around the world who are actually doing it.
Okay, so first things first, we need to get two terms straight because they're absolutely crucial. On one hand, you've got lifespan. That's pretty simple. It's the total number of years you're on this planet. But on the other hand, you have health span. And honestly, this is the one that really matters. This is the number of years you live in good health, feeling great, free from all those chronic diseases. The real goal here isn't just adding years to your life, but adding life to your years.
And this is where it gets a little sobering. That number right there, 9.6 years, globally, that is the average amount of time people spend at the end of their lives in poor health. Just think about that for a second. That's almost a full decade dealing with illness or disability. That's the gap between just being alive and truly living.
But here's where the story gets incredibly hopeful. A lot of us tend to think, it's all in my genes, But look at this. The science shows that our DNA only accounts for about 20% of our longevity. The other 80%, the huge majority, comes down to our lifestyle and our environment. This is a game changer. It means the power to write your own health story is, for the most part, right in your own hands.
So that brings up a really exciting question. What if we don't need some futuristic magic pill? What if the blueprint for closing that health span gap and living an amazing long life has already been figured out, and it's being practiced every single day by people in certain pockets of the world?
Well, that's exactly what the blue zones are. They are these very real geographic areas where people are just built different. They live measurably longer, they're 10 times more likely to reach the age of 100 than the rest of us, and they have way lower rates of heart disease, cancer, and all the stuff we worry about. They're basically a living, breathing roadmap for incredible health.
So, where are these amazing places? Well, they're all over the map. You've got Okinawa in Japan, Sardinia in Italy, the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, Ikaria in Greece, and get this, Loma Linda, California, right in the US. 5 totally different cultures, climates, and cuisines, but they're all achieving these incredible, similar results.
So the big question is, what's the common thread? How can these super diverse places have so much in common when it comes to health? Well, researchers have spent years digging in, and they've boiled it all down to 9 shared habits, what they call the Power 9. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack right now.
All right, let's start with the foundation, right? How they move their bodies and what they eat. And just a heads up, this isn't about running marathons or trying some crazy fad diet. It's way, way simpler and more integrated into their lives than that.
First up, they move naturally. See, people in the blue zones don't really exercise, at least not how we think of it. They don't have gym memberships. Instead, their lives are just set up in a way that makes them move constantly. They walk everywhere, they work in their gardens, they do chores by hand. It's just this constant, gentle, all-day movement that's baked into their routine.
Number 2 is the 80% rule. This is genius. It comes from an ancient Okinawan saying, Hara Hachi Bu, which they say before meals. It's a reminder to stop eating when you feel about 80% full. That little gap between not hungry anymore and totally stuffed is where the magic happens. It's such a simple way to avoid overeating without ever feeling deprived.
And what are they eating? Well, their diets have what you'd call a plant slant. Now, this doesn't mean they're all vegan or vegetarian, but plants are absolutely the star of the show. And the cornerstone of almost every blue zone diet, beans, all kinds of beans. Meat is treated more like a side dish or a celebratory food. They only eat it about 5 times a month on average.
And yep, you're seeing this right. Wine is on the list. But, and this is a huge but, it's all about the context. In most of these zones, people enjoy 1 to 2 small glasses of red wine a day, but almost always with food and with friends. It's less about the alcohol itself and more about the social connection and relaxation that comes with it.
Okay, so we've covered the body. Now let's move on to the mind, because how you think and how you see the world turns out to be just as important for longevity as what you eat.
Principle number 5 is purpose. The Okinawans have a beautiful word for it, Ikigai. In Nicoya, they call it plan de vida. Both pretty much mean your reason for waking up in the morning. And get this, having that strong sense of purpose is estimated to add up to 7 extra years of life expectancy. 7 years! That is just incredible.
Next up, they downshift. Look,
Stress happens to everyone, even in the blue zones. But the difference is they have these built-in, daily routines to shed that stress. In Okinawa, they take a moment each day to remember their ancestors. In Ikaria, they take a midday nap. And in Sardinia, they do happy hour with friends. These little rituals are their secret weapon against chronic inflammation, which is tied to almost every major age-related disease.
And that brings us to our final section, which might just be the most powerful of them all, connection. It's all about how we relate to our family, our community, and our friends.
Number 7 is belonging. Of all the centenarians they interviewed, 263 of them, almost every single one belonged to some kind of faith-based community. The specific religion didn't seem to matter at all. It was the act of coming together, the shared ritual, the sense of community. Research suggests that attending services just 4 times a month can add between 4 and 14 years to your life. That's astounding.
They also put loved ones first. Family isn't just important in the blue zones, it's everything. They keep their aging parents and grandparents close by, often living in the same home. They invest deeply in a life partner, and they pour time and love into their kids. This creates this incredible, multi-generational safety net of love and support.
And the 9th and final secret is finding your right tribe. It turns out that the longest-lived people in the world either were born into or chose social circles that supported healthy behaviors. Think about it. Your friends influence you. In Okinawa, they even have a name for it, a moai. It's a group of 5 friends who commit to each other for life. It's like having your own personal, lifelong support group.
So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? Well, it's definitely not that you need to pack up and move to a Greek island. The real magic of the blue zones is that these principles, they can be applied absolutely anywhere, by anyone. It's not about your zip code, it's about how you live your life.
I love this quote because it just nails the whole point. We're all searching for some complicated, high-tech answer to aging, but the truth is, the most powerful tools for a long, healthy, happy life are actually really simple, and they've been right in front of us this whole time. In the end, the real secret of the blue zones is that powerful reminder that this isn't about reaching some magic number. It's about filling the years we have with as much health, joy, purpose, and connection as possible. So what's one small thing you can do today? Maybe it's just going for a walk with a friend, or adding some beans to your dinner tonight. Your journey to a longer and, more importantly, a better life can start right now.